Hello, my amazing artists. Happy Earth Day. I'm extra sad we're not together today because normally on Earth Day we would be having a picnic at school and we would be doing some sort of Earth Day activity. So I'm sad we're missing out on that this year, but I hope you get a chance to at least go outside today and appreciate the great outdoors. Notice all the beautiful things that are outside. The purpose of Earth Day is for us to be thinking about whether we are helping or hurting our planet Earth, because it's our home and it's all of the plants and animals' homes too, and they don't really have a say in how we are treating our planet Earth. So it's really important that we help them. And you guys always do such a great job of that anyway. So it's a great day to celebrate, and I was thinking even though we aren't together, we could still do an Earth Day craft. So we are going to be making this cute little earth. You will need glue and scissors today. I used crayons and markers to color my earth. But if you have paints at home or watercolors, you should totally use those. Or if you have a magazine or construction paper, you could collage your planet Earth. That would be cool too. But if you just want to stick to crayons or markers or color pencils, that's perfect.
So I'm going to use a bowl to help me draw a circle for my planet Earth. And I'm going to put it at the lower end of my paper. I want to leave a lot of empty space so that I can make the rest of my shapes when I'm finished with this circle. So just trace around your bowl or just draw a big circular shape with a pencil. Then you're going to be drawing some squiggly lines all around inside of your planet Earth. So you can make this look realistic if you want to, or you can just kind of draw some blobs in the general areas where you know that continents are on your planet. So again, you can use any materials you want to color your earth. I'm going to be using crayons. So I'm going to take out a green crayon and a blue crayon. But if you want to use other colors, that's cool too. So the blobs that I drew, all the continents, that's going to be the land. So I'm going to color those green to represent the land. And you can color outside of the circle. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be cutting the circle out. But I am going to try to color inside of the lines inside of the circle. So I am, as usual, I'm going to outline the blobs I'm coloring and then color in the same direction as much as possible just to keep it looking kind of neat. Then with my blue crayon, I'm going to color around all of those little shapes that I colored green. And again, it's okay if you color outside of the circle because you will be cutting it out, as long as you can still see the pencil line that you drew. If you color too dark over that pencil line, it might be difficult to know where to cut. So I'm just tracing around all of my continents so that I don't get my blue inside of those areas. So that's just sort of a boundary that helps me out when I'm coloring. So I'm finished coloring my planet Earth, and I have a lot of empty space left over on my paper because I'm still going to be using it to draw other shapes. So whenever I go to cut out my circle, I want to make sure that I leave that part of the paper whole. So I don't want to do any cutting up here yet. I'm just going to come in from the bottom of my paper and cut just one big cut all around the planet Earth. So I'm finished cutting out my planet Earth and I'm happy with how it looks. You can set it to the side because you will now be drawing some arms and hands on the white piece of paper, as well as a face and a heart. Before drawing my arms, I'm going to think about the size that they need to be because I want them smaller than my planet Earth. So I'm blocking off this bottom part of my paper and I'm just going to cut that little strip off, so that will help me make sure that my arms are a good size for my planet Earth. Now I'm going to take that strip of paper and I'm going to fold it in half, just like this. And you're going to keep it folded in half while you draw one arm. So from one of the edges of your paper that you just folded in half, you're going to draw one line and another line. And that's going to be both sides of your planet's arm, of one arm. And you want them to be even with each other to end at the same spot. And you will then start drawing fingers. They don't have to be perfect. I'm just drawing skinny curved lines, and I'm drawing 5 of them so that the arm will have 5 fingers at the end. Now I'm going to start doing my cutting, and you might need to ask your mom or your dad or somebody to help you with cutting the fingers if you don't feel super confident about it. I'm going to cut around my hand first. I think that makes it a little bit easier. So right now I have the arm cut out, but not the fingers. And then I can go back and cut in between each of those fingers. Now I'm just cutting the very end of the arm to separate the two sides of the paper, and ta-da! I have 2 arms. And they are now symmetrical with each other, which I really like. Those are going to be coming out of the edges of both sides of my Earth. And I want it to be holding a heart because Earth Day is about loving the Earth. So before I draw my heart, I am going to color my arms, and I'm going to make them a solid black color. And I'm using markers so that they will pop. They'll show up really well on my planet Earth that I colored with crayons. If you would like to color your arms a different color, hey, you do you. And I'm also making sure to color those on top of a scrap of paper, just so I don't color on my table. All right, so we are finished with our earth, we are finished with our arms, and we are ready to draw the next part of our Earth Day artwork. I want my earth holding a heart, and I don't want it to be bigger than my earth. I want it to be small and in the middle of my earth. So I'm just blocking off this little spot on my white piece of paper that I still have been using since the beginning. I don't want to waste my paper. So with this small square that I've cut out, I can draw a heart. If you feel confident drawing a heart, then you can just freehand it. You could draw one hump and then draw another hump right next to it, and then connect them with two straight diagonal lines. Or if you don't feel confident, or you keep thinking that each side is uneven from the other side of your heart, you can take that square piece of paper and fold it in half, just like this. And keeping the open part of your paper to the left and the folded part of your paper to the right, you can draw one side of your heart. So that's one hump, and then one diagonal straight line that goes towards the bottom. And keeping your paper folded, you can cut out that shape you just made. So cut along that hump and that straight diagonal line. And when you open it up, ta-da, you have a perfectly magical, symmetrical heart. I'm going to color my heart red, and I'm going to use a marker again so that it really pops and stands out against my planet Earth. So I'm coloring that on top of a paper so it doesn't get on my table, and I'm coloring all in the same direction. And this is how I'm thinking I want to arrange the arms and the heart. So I want to add a face up here, but you don't have to add a face if you think it looks cute the way it is. I want my face to be small because there isn't much room left on my planet Earth. So to make sure it's the right size before I start drawing the eyes and the mouth, I'm going to think about how big I want it to be, and again block off a part of my paper so I don't accidentally make those features too big. So I'm going to cut out this little rectangle, and then I'm going to fold it in half again. And the reason I'm folding it in half is so that my eyes will be the same size. So I'm just drawing one round shape. It could be an oval or it could be a circle. And then I'm keeping my paper folded while I cut. And when I'm finished, I now have two symmetrical eyes. Now I'm going to draw a mouth for my planet Earth. So I'm drawing a straight line, and then underneath that I'm drawing a curved line. So it's just a cartoon open mouth smile. And then I'm going to cut that out. I'm putting the eyes and the mouth on a piece of paper, and I'm going to start coloring. So I want my mouth to just be a solid red. And then I am going to use black for the eyes. I want to first trace around the eyes. And then on the inside, I'm going to draw just these little curves. And I'm keeping a spot white for sort of a highlight inside of his cartoon eyes. And I'm going to do the same with the other eye. So I tried to color them to make them look like they're looking downwards. Now let's take a look at what that's going to look like when I arrange it all on top of my earth. Cute. So I need some glue. You could use liquid glue, a glue stick, whatever you got. I prefer a glue stick. I just think it's a little bit less messy and it dries quicker. So I'm going to take everything off my planet Earth and I'm going to start with my heart. So flip it over and glue all over the back side of your heart. And then I'm going to glue it in the center, but towards the bottom of my planet Earth. I want to make sure I've got room for his face at the top. Now I'm going to glue my arms so that my arms are holding my heart. So I'm getting glue all on the back of the arms and the fingers. And I'm going to put them on each side of my earth, and I want them sort of going downward so they look like they're holding on to the heart. And I'm pushing down, making sure it's nice and glued on. So notice they're going in a downward direction. And if you have some of your arms poking out on the sides, you could always just cut that right off. Snip. Perfect. And all that's left is your eyes and your mouth. Yay, you're finished. He's so cute. So at this point, you can leave it the way it is, or you could even glue it down to another paper, or you could turn it into a sign or whatever you want to do. You could give him some planet friends if you want to. You could add a message about saving the earth, or draw stars like he's in the sky. You could decorate it however you want if you choose to glue him onto a paper. But he's totally fine on his own if you want. I love giving you creative freedom to make your artwork into something that truly belongs to you. Feel confident in your artistic choices. I've got an idea for how I want to color my paper. So I'm just going to choose a few different marker colors and draw these little lines poking out around my planet Earth and make it look like he's shining bright. And then I'm going to use a black marker just to write a big message at the top of my paper. Great job today, y'all. Have a great Earth Day and remember to send me your artworks. See you next time.